All right, I know Viscotch Adventures typically comes to you with an RV adventure, but this one was a little bit further away. We didn't have the time to enjoy the East Coast of America as we drove up New York City pulling an RV. So it was all plane flights and packing it down to a suitcase for this adventure. And it was totally worth it because I think we made the most time we could in New York City if we hadn't have
Say it's not that tall, but then I look up and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. The hotel was awesome. Cheyenne did a killer job. We thought we were at the RIU on the west side of Times Square, but we were in the RIU in Times Square. 50 feet out of the front door, we were right in the middle of everything. And it made it really fun. We did all the required tourist Times Square photos and bought stuff off the streetcars. Was exactly how people describe it. New York City is alive, and every crosswalk, every sidewalk, every park, there is something going on. There is life, there is noise. There's a lot of energy going on, and as soon as you get out of the subway station, you come up those stairs and you see One World Trade Center. It's pretty incredible how instantly you're in just a really serene, respectful environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're about to take a journey through history and memory in the space where the Twin Towers once rose from foundations 7 stories below ground up nearly a quarter-mile into the sky. If you look over toward the entry to the exhibitions, you'll see a very large photograph of the New York City skyline. That photograph was taken only minutes before the first plane hit the North Tower. September 11, 2001 dawned bright and sunny in New York City. I can still remember the sky and its brilliant shade of blue. In New York, the polls had opened for the mayoral primary. It was the first day of classes for many schools. The World Trade Center, where about 50,000 people worked, was just coming to life.
This is hallowed ground for the people that this is their loved ones. This is where they have been laid to rest. And so it's treated that way by everyone that is visiting. It was incredibly quiet, incredibly serene, very respectfully done. I've seen it in videos and been there before it was actually completed, and it felt like it reflected the events of that day and were, a very respectful way to honor those people.
So the Oculus is a component of the 9/11 area, and it is an amazing building. It's one of the coolest buildings I've ever seen.
That is chocolate cake.
Can I have a tiny bite?
In case of an emergency, listen for announcements and instructions from the crew. Please familiarize yourself with the location of... For assistance, see uniformed crew members located on each deck. Thank you for riding the Staten Island Ferry.
So you can get on the Staten Island Ferry for free, and you can take the 30-minute ride to Staten Island. It takes you right by the Statue of Liberty. You get a great view of it. You get to look back on Manhattan and the buildings and get this incredible view. And then as soon as you get off of the ferry in Staten Island, you turn right back around and get back on the ferry, and you ride the ferry back. And you've spent an hour on the ferry and you've seen the Statue of Liberty, and you can go on and do your other adventures. So if you go to New York, you have to go to St. Patrick's Cathedral. We arrived in New York on Easter Sunday. The next day, St. Patrick's Cathedral was still decorated for Easter, and it was absolutely beautiful on the outside and on the inside of the sanctuary, which the sanctuary is beautiful no matter what.
Watching the sunset in Bryant Park was a really cool welcome to New York. How'd I do at guessing on directions, guys?
Great job. Can you swim in that?
Doesn't look like it. Central Park, like everything else on the trip, we did not get to spend as much time as we thought we would in Central Park. The time we spent there was incredible. It was just the tip of spring there, so everything was budding, not really blossoming for the most part, but the park was alive. It was phenomenal. The tavern was one of those places I had had in my imagination for years as being just one of the coolest experiences that you could have while eating dinner. This huge glass atrium, all these details. The food was fantastic. The experience, I think, was even better. Everyone had a really nice time. I don't think any trip to New York City is complete without visiting Lower East Side and getting that transition between Lower East Side and Chinatown was just a crazy departure from being out of Times Square area, theater district. Did you buy something?
Mom bought strawberries.
She bought what?
She bought strawberries.
Oh. For the last day here? Do some light shopping?
This is not our last day here.
I just got some strawberries. Wafung number one.
Okay.
Go there, stand in the line. It is 100% worth it. So good. Everyone goes for the pork. The pork was delicious. I personally like the chicken better, but you can't go wrong with either.
Wow, that is like definitely chicken.
Try a bite of the chicken. Here.
Soft.
I'm not gonna eat a lot at every place we go to because we're eating so much food today.
Yeah, me too.
After seeing how big these are, I definitely think we should have just gotten one, but this chicken is so good. I don't know what is on that rice.
One of the other interesting facts about Chinatown we didn't realize is you cross a street and you're in Middle Italy that quickly, and all of a sudden Chinese food and Chinese eatery signs and everything completely disappeared, and everything was gelato and pasta and everything else. And that was a really quick transition we were not expecting.
Yes, absolutely. We went to several pizza places, and honestly I can say I did not have a bad slice of pizza when I was in New York. Little Italy, and then Joe's, and then Bleecker Street. But Bleecker Street is probably my favorite pizza I've ever had.
Is a fantastic food hall with, felt like a miniature Epcot.
I think in total there's 16 different restaurants represented there. It's a great option if you have multiple people in your family, if you're trying to please multiple palates, or if you just want to opposite out.
So only about a block and a half from our hotel was the Rockefeller Center.
You will not find me being a fangirl of like the regular Hollywood fare, but Hoda Kotb, a hug by Carson Daly, it was a great experience.
We chose to go to Top of the Rock. It felt like it was exactly what we wanted because of the perspective it gave us. We went after we had already been to the 9/11 area. We went after we had already been to Central Park. And so it was great just to stand up over every place that we had gone to, and especially for the kids, give them a little bit of geographical perspective.
Welcome to 67, angle left.
Yeah, I think being there when the sun went down was kind of probably one of the coolest things that we did when we were in New York. None of the observation decks are cheap. You just kind of have to figure out what you want to pay for and what is it worth to you. But I definitely recommend doing something at sunset.
What'd you think, Yay? Shout out to the Here Be Barr channel and Sarah Funky. They are a wealth of knowledge. I believe it was one of Sarah Funky's videos that clued us into City Mapper app. It made a huge difference for us. All right, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.